Okay, welcome to the Vent Box with Keisha Jackson. Let it out, get it off your chest. Who's calling?
This is Naima.
Hi, Naima. How are you? Naima. How do you spell Naima? Naima. Okay,
yes,
cool.
That is it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. What's going on?
Well, a lot.
Okay.
I'm in the midst of a major life transition. Pretty much. Leaving my marriage, where we decided to amicably dissolve our marriage after being together for nearly 20 years, over 15, nearly 20, wow. Sandwiched in between. And we've been together, including dating and marriage for over 20 years.
Wow.
So that's over half of my life that I've been with this person.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you said amicably. So is this a good transition or a not so sure transition or a bad transition? How did y'all get to this point, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no problem. Well, unfortunately, we carried in things from dating and just throughout the years, just carried it into the marriage, and things just compounded. We thought that we got things together, working on stuff, therapy, just throughout the years, just trying different things, even trying, a trial separation just so that we can work on our individual selves first and get ourselves right to come back together as a couple. We thought it worked. Then some years after that, we were talking about divorce once again. And then here it is for the last time. We've been on the merry-go-round, talking about this just throughout all these years. And now it's just finally the jig is up.
So, I think what most people don't realize, and I'm sure you know this because you've been married for 20 years and I've never been married. So how about that? Let me say that. But relationships take constant work. So something I noted that you just mentioned is that, we thought we worked on it. We thought we handled it, but then, things kind of rear its ugly head over and over again, continuously throughout the relationship. And I think that's because relationships, period, take constant work because it's ever evolving. So you think we might have it, but then you realize, months go by, years go by, and it was a Band-Aid, or it was settled for that time. But now things have shifted. Now the job has changed, or now we had a kid, or now, someone's parent is getting older and you have to take care of that parent. So you have to constantly learn how to be fluid throughout the relationship, which is not necessarily always easy to do. So let me ask you this. With your situation, since you said it was amicable, which I say is, congratulations to that, because that's not typically the case, So what is it that you're calling about? Like, if it's amicable, at least you don't have that element to deal with. So what exactly are you dealing with?
It's getting used to this new normal. On top of this, I am still working on finding work. That's a job in and of itself. We decided this well over a year ago. I did not think it was fair to just continue to sit and just on this. And so I decided, okay, before it gets to the point where it's not amicable, maybe we need to go ahead and, part ways. And so, moved in with my mom and whatnot. And so now here I am, got this new life that I'm getting adjusted to, and I am working to get myself off of my feet. And then, of course, along with the feelings that you have with having a divorce, yes, we're getting divorced, but I still do love him. We still are friends. And, I'm going to miss him. So dealing with that part too. So it's just a lot of stuff on the inside that's hella somber right now for me.
So you say you're living with your mom. Do you have any kids?
Yes, I have a teenage daughter.
Okay. Okay. And that was your kid. You guys had that baby girl together?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So is that amicable? Custody?
Yes, that is too.
That's
yeah.
Wonderful.
We alternate weeks. And it's nothing has been an issue thus far. I mean, it's really crazy. Even when we were separated, people were like, "Oh my God, I've never heard of anything like this before." People separating to get back together, and then even with when we've been doing family therapy, and so the counselor's like, "Well, you guys are coming into therapy the way that we're trying to get families to leave therapy. Y'all are already here, so what's the deal?" But we want to make sure that our daughter is well in this transition. That's right. Our priority.
That's right. That's right.
That's the thing. And that's heavy. And because I wonder, she's really just even keel, very just headstrong, very independent, like, even though, yes, dependent on parents still, but still has a very independent mindset. And so what worries me is that there may be something wrong and she's not telling us.
Wait a minute. But so you, based on her habits in the past, you feel like it's possible that she could be kind of suppressing her real feelings?
That's what I'm scared of. I'm not saying that she is, but I'm very scared because there was a time where she was like, well, I just want to make sure you guys are okay. And we're like, no, that's our job to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah, that's what kids naturally do, though. That's how kids naturally, deal with their parents. They want them to be okay. I mean, you think about it, so it's the way you were with your parents. It's when you're bound together, there's a tendency to just want to take care of each other. So that's okay, but she doesn't have the burden of trying to keep you guys together, get you guys to get along in the midst of all of this, because you already handled that. So I think that she'll be okay. I think that you should pretty much pay close attention to her behaviors. And if there are change in behaviors, then that could be a red flag. But then some of that stuff is just going to be teenage shit anyway, because they are aliens and shit is just going to change. It's just time for changes to happen. So, it doesn't sound as if there's anything for you to be too panicked about, but, I think this is a good opportunity for you to kind of keep your eyes on you. I think if any red flags happen with your daughter, then you'll see them. If it's anything out of the normal, you'll see them, because we tend to be keyed in on the kids from the time we have kids. They become the biggest focus. And sometimes, that's to a fault as far as self-care is concerned. So I think it's a good time for you to focus on yourself and see, how you can treat yourself a little better in this process, because it is a transition. You are used to doing things as a unit, and now suddenly you're independent again, and you haven't been that way in at least 20 years. And so, it's an adjustment to make, but I think that you should maybe kind of start honing in on the things that you need to be healthy, and fruitful and emotionally, financially, what can you do for yourself these days? Like, have you considered that? Because sometimes as parents, we don't even think about ourselves.
Well, I do consider that, because, here's another layer. I know I'm laying it on you.
It's all good.
I battle with depression.
Okay.
And so I'm very hyper vigilant, about my triggers, about surrounding myself with the things I need to keep me at peace. That's include people, places, things, and whatnot. And so I'm trying not to worry about myself, because I feel the sadness creeping in. I mean, like I said, it's a sad situation.
Okay.
But I don't want to lay in it to the point where I get into a depressive episode, because unfortunately I have those and they can last for months, unfortunately, with what I have.
Is that a result of you laying into it, or, because there has to be a certain acknowledgement of it. And you said that you are very tuned in to yourself, so you kind of know what your triggers are. But, when you do feel like, you know what, I need to worry about me right now. Do you allow yourself that?
I do, but there's some times where it's almost like an anvil on your back, and you just try to get up and you try to get up and you can't, and you don't know why. And you're like thinking, for all intents and purposes, I should be okay. I should be this. I should be that.
Based on what?
I guess that's the thing. And I guess that's
based on what guidelines? Based on what? Like, what are you judging yourself by when you say I should be?
Oh, this is my own internal compass that I'm thinking of. I'm like, there's nothing going on with me to where I should be that knocked down on the ground to begin with. And so it's just my depression. It's extreme, unfortunately.
Yes. Do you have help?
Yeah, I do. Of course, like I said, my mom, and I have friends, and it's a couple of, close family members of mine who I've been talking to through this. But other than that, I really haven't just been putting things out there for real. I mean, because
you don't want people in your business.
Right. And especially in the past, we've been thinking we've been, coming to this, and then we're like, oh, well, we made up, we reconcile, and I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to be.
I get it. And sometimes you don't need people in your business. Like sometimes,
and that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to let people in because you're suffering in silence. But there are also other times that I get it completely, because you just don't want. It's you date somebody, you talk to your friends, you tell them how the man did you, and then you get back with the man, and then it's like, they're not going to change their perception of this guy. Like them turning around how they feel about the whole thing is, that's a little slow moving, and sometimes it does not happen at all, and then you're feeling like, like you're yo-yoing with your friends, and they're judging you.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Yes. So this time I was like, like I've been, people who I guess I'm really, really close with, some of them know, not even all of them, but some of them. They don't all need to.
That's fine.
Exactly. But yeah, just making sure that I don't take the nasty plunge downward into depression, because I need to be first and foremost, able-bodied for my daughter.
For sure.
I mean, of course for myself, but she needs a mama.
For sure. But mama needs mama too.
Yeah, you're right.
Mama needs mama too. Like if mama's not okay, nobody's okay. So keep that in mind. It doesn't mean to ignore. Obviously, I would never advise you to ignore your child, but mama needs to be okay before she can be good for anybody else. And let me make this reference back real quick, because you said take the nesty plunge, child. When I say you took it back to the 80s and 90s, girl, I heard that since the after people listen to the show might be like, what was that? And I just moved on like, because I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but I get it. You don't want to just dive in. You don't want to get so far in that you can't kind of dig yourself out. I get it. But you have to give yourself a break, man. Because sometimes as parents, and as just women, like Black women, period. Women, period. But Black women even more so. Like we put so much on ourselves as if society doesn't do it already. You have to give yourself a break sometimes. And when I'm saying, I'm not talking about necessarily just about self-care in terms of, girl, take a bath and go get a massage. That's always lovely. But I'm just saying, in terms of giving yourself a break and not charging yourself so hard with these sometimes we give ourselves unrealistic goals, and we don't, I should be here by this time and here by that age. And, and like what I said, earlier about what you were charging yourself with, there's no reason for me to be feeling the way I'm feeling. And there's no reason, but sometimes it is justified. You know what I'm saying? And if you realize that you suffer from depression at times, it doesn't have to be a reason. Just recognize that, okay, I'm having a moment. I might be in this moment for a minute. This is what I need to do to help myself out of it. Don't expect yourself to get yourself out of it by tomorrow. I'm gonna go to bed today. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up and everything is
Lord, if it can work that way.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work that way. But sometimes when you're in it, you're not thinking, oh, it doesn't work that way. You just know that whatever you're feeling, you want to be out of it soon. And sometimes you just have to give yourself the time, give yourself the space. You said a teenage daughter. So fortunately, she's not as needy as she was, 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right, definitely.
And you are co-parenting, with your soon-to-be ex, and it's amicable. All of that stuff is helpful for you, for your mental health, and for everyone involved, for baby girl, for your husband, your ex-husband, for yourself more than anything. So try not to charge yourself so hard with, putting these restrictions and these guidelines and these dates and times, or I got to have this by this time. And I should, you're living with your mom. Your mom loves you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And nobody wants to move back in with their parents, but sometimes it's necessary. And for all I don't know how old you are. How old are you? Do you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I am 40.
Why are you taking so long to say it? Are you sure you're comfortable with it?
Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm 42.
Okay.
42.
Yeah, please. Okay, yeah. So at 42, you think about the age of your parents, they're starting to feel, they're starting to see their mortality. They're starting to feel like, okay, things ain't quite working. Oh, I got to go to the doctor for this and the doctor for that. And so quietly, your mom might be so grateful that you're there because, sometimes as we get older, our self-confidence, just kind of reduces, because we kind of need a little more than we used to need. And we don't want to, burden nobody and all of that stuff. And so your mom is probably happy that at least someone is there in case of emergency, because you don't really know how she's feeling,
Yeah. In her 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. So she definitely feeling it. And she might be like, well, I'm okay. You can move in, but quietly she's like, I kind of like having somebody to talk to every now and then. And somebody that can clean up. I don't have to do as much work around the house. And, we want that solitude, when we're at a certain age, but then later on, it's kind of like, I like my solitude, but I'm kind of scared. You know what I mean? So you don't really know what our parents are dealing with right now. So it's clearly a blessing for you to be there because you have a parent and a place to go to in the midst of this transition, but it's probably a blessing for your parent as well. So don't be so hard on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Transitions happen. Transitions happen. And we're going to be dealing with that for the rest of our lives. So just kind of learn to be fluid and shake. And some things take a little bit longer, adjustments and stuff like that. But just kind of roll with it. You'll be okay.
I will. Thank you so much for that. Because you're not the only person who told me that I need to give myself grace and give myself a break. I've been hearing that so much over the past 10 years of my life. And you would think I would get it by now, but
sometimes it takes, it takes a little bit, little bit of time for us to, for it to settle in, but it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
And all of us are always relearning the same lessons over and over and over again throughout our life anyway. So it's all good. It's all good. Give yourself a break. Love on yourself a little bit, more than you have been. Give yourself a little more attention. Baby girl's going to be okay. Obviously, your ex and you were okay, child, you are steps ahead of a whole bunch of other people. So
yeah, I must say,
yeah,
you're right.
You got room to work on yourself. Whereas, a lot of people are dealing with shit. It's coming at them so quick and so fast. And then you got a terrible divorce. And then you got, listen, you got a little space to kind of love on yourself. So do that. Do that. Okay.
I will.
Thank you for calling me, Naima. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
And call back whenever you need. If you need to talk again. If you just need to let it out, give me a call.
Does it have to be something bad?
It doesn't have to be child. You can call me about the mailman not delivering your mail on time. I don't care. Just call whenever you want to call.
All right, then.
Want to call? Okay.
Okay, then.
All right, dear. Talk to you soon.
All right.